All right. Oh yeah.
Ooh-ah!
Oh yeah. I like that.
Oh,
Yeah, I like that.
we are Murder Moose, part of the Slash and Cast Podcast Network. It's in the game, and it's in Brian's ass, so we're
It's in
here.
my ass. Yeah. Ken's not here, so it's got to go somewhere.
It's
So.
gonna go somewhere. Ken,
Yep.
she's on the screen yet again because we can't go on without her. So she is here, like with
Yeah.
her
We need her.
freeze image.
Yeah. We at least need her aura of some sorts
Yeah,
in order to carry us forward.
we
How
need
you
her,
doing?
or we need her aura to so our ugly asses don't get like scare everyone away.
Right. Yeah. Don't lump me in with you.
I mean, it's just me. It's just me because you're the sexy man, Brian.
You hideous fucking troll.
I am. Oh, what's
How
up,
you been,
buddy?
buddy?
I'm doing
Look
good.
at
I
us.
mean,
We're both trying to ask how each other's doing.
I know we're doing the same thing where we're like, because I continue, dude. It's the thing is, I don't know what it had. Like, I don't know. It's just like the shit going through and like me not sleeping well because it's like
Why haven't you been sleeping well?
I don't know. I think there's part of like my brain's getting like worried about, like anxious about shit like that. I was telling you about that charity stream I got coming up on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
I got that and just work, and then the like my brain's like going, Rod, you're gonna die alone.
Whoa. Well, don't let those thoughts
I
start
fight
to
him.
really bother you, because I just
I
find that very hard to believe.
I know. It's all the things. So yeah, it's all those things combined. But I did I went to Casa Bonita on Thursday, so the new Casa Bonita opened, and it was really good. But man, I had like meat nachos. It was like carnitas nachos, and I don't know what they did to my digestive tract, Brian. But I have been like, for like the
Been
next,
evacuating.
I've been like, it's a biological weapon walking around, and it's just like. You know when you're bad and you're like, oh my god, I disgust myself.
Yeah, you know that's an issue. Yeah,
Yeah, you go.
Absolutely.
You go usually when you go. Oh,
I mean,
that's
I've been there before too.
yeah.
I've been
It's
in there sitting, laying in bed, just farting the fuck away, and even my dog is like, "Homie,"
he's like, this
he's
is
sitting
dog.
by the fucking door with his fucking nose at the bottom of the door.
He's like, I need clean air, fresh air.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a weekend of going, what the hell? But so that was a good time. I started up Silent Hill 2, the remake,
Oh,
yesterday,
nice.
and
How much is that?
a lot. It's the
Is it
69.
70?
Yeah,
It's 60, 70 fucking bucks.
yeah.
Okay, yeah,
It's
not
just
doing
like
that.
I'm like I hate games that
I've
are.
been playing the Halloween and Ash vs. Evil Dead games that Retro Realms dropped.
Yeah,
They're fun. They're very fun. I love them.
yeah.
A lot of fun.
They're like have been a lot of weird side scrolling retro games that came out in the last couple weeks, because they also had a Rocky Horror Picture Show one come out.
Yeah. I haven't played that one yet.
I watched.
It's pretty cheap.
It only took Katie a couple hours to beat it, so that's probably why it's
They
pretty
said
cheap.
that it's a pretty easy little playthrough, and that basically, if you're a fucking huge fan of the movie and the musical and stuff, then that it's right up your alley. But if you're like a platforming, side-scrolling, like you like a challenge, yeah, it's just basically to stay away. That's what I've read anyway.
Yeah.
I'll probably get it because it's cheap, and I'm a big Rocky Horror nerd.
Yeah,
So,
dude, I haven't
yeah.
watched Rocky Horror since I was a kid. I don't think it's been
Oh,
a
man.
long time.
I am contemplating going this Saturday because I could be off if I want to be. See, I have Wednesday I have Thursday and Friday off this week.
Yeah,
I took them off for that metal band that I joined temporarily, but I just don't have the time, so I stepped
Yeah.
away. They're gonna continue as they were.
yeah,
And I took those days off because we had a show for Halloween, and I was like, I'm not fucking coming in the next day after playing a show. Like, I'll be fucking drunk and,
Yeah.
and miserable. So I took that Friday off, and that they scheduled a mandatory Saturday. But the way my work is if you have Friday off, you don't have to come in and work mandatory Saturday.
Oh,
You can't.
nice.
Yeah, it's in the contract. They let you have that if you have the Friday off already and you're on the
Yeah,
calendar. You don't need to work the mandatory overtime. So
nice.
if I want to, I could go see it. They're playing it at the Screenland. I'm actually leaving tonight here to go watch The Lost Boys on the big screen for the first time.
Nice. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Never seen it on the big screen. I was 10 when it came out. As old as you like to say I am, I was actually only 10 in
So the movie came out in 1932.
Came out in 8. Yeah, Lost Boys was way ahead of its time. Uh,
God, Kiefer looks really good for his age,
he
though,
does.
man.
He really looks great. But yeah, I'm going tonight to see The Lost Boys on the big screen. So that's pretty.
That's
exciting.
cool. Yeah, that's a good one. I went and watched the third Venom movie yesterday, and I'm just like,
did you?
dude, if it wasn't for like Eddie and Venom, I'm like, this movie would be completely unwatchable. Like
Really?
it's like the parts with him and Venom are fun as hell, and like even the Null stuff that they set up is cool. But it's like the human characters in that movie, I'm just like, what?
The human characters in that movie have never been good.
It's
in
it's
that
real
franchise.
bad.
It's
Like
really bad this time.
like the lizard dude that was in all the trailers, who played the lizard in the other Spider-Man movies, was
Yeah.
like, him and his family are just like the most like, hey, we're gonna do things that don't make any sense because that puts us into positions that, like, plot wise, that you're just like, oh, stop it.
Yeah, I was kind of curious as to how this trilogy was going to end because I know they're only doing 3.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, they're doing 3, but they want to do this whole giant Null thing with like all their other characters and shit like that. And
Yeah, I'll maybe I'll watch it. I mean, I liked the first 2. I enjoyed the first 2.
I
They were fun.
it was fun. It was just like, the more I thought about it afterwards, I was like, this actually kind of makes me angry. Like, it's just because it's just like, when human characters are so bad that you're just like I mean, not even human character, when characters are just so bad, you're just like, come on. And it's just like, it's that thing where you just like, it feels like lazy writing, but I don't think that's what it is. I don't know, man. It's just wild. And I'm just like, those movies could have been like even better. Like, I think they're all fun. They're just bad movies. You know what I mean?
Right,
So,
but they're at least entertaining.
yeah.
So it doesn't fall into that issue that we have, that you particularly have brought up several times, they're not boring.
No, they're not boring. And like I said,
boring.
the Venom and Brock stuff is pretty good, and like,
Yeah.
that is able to hold up the, like, you're having fun with it. But it's just like one of those things where you just like, after you get out, you're like, why did this and this happen, and why did these characters do this, and why did this happen? And you're just like, it's like when movies do things and you're just like, that doesn't make. It's like why I hate Prometheus. It's like Prometheus is like is the series of like, why did this supposed smart space scientist do this? Oh,
Right.
because
Intelligent characters doing very dumb things, and it goes against the core of that character is very weird. And it does happen in Prometheus. I know that's why you don't like. That's a big part of why you don't like that movie. It doesn't bother me quite as much as it bothers you, for sure. But I do get it, because they even carry that over into a Covenant.
Yeah.
Because they have these smart guys going out there and doing all this dumb shit. Like, guys, you don't even know anything about this planet. Why are you disturbing this planet?
Yeah. I think that shit was stupid in Covenant. I think they made it a little less stupid, but like, dude, like,
yeah, they did. It wasn't as bad.
Yeah, and that was why I was the exception, where I liked Covenant better than Prometheus, because the characters were a little less dumb.
I actually probably like Covenant more than Prometheus too. My only issue with Covenant is that it took a really, really pretty good character from Prometheus and just completely it's like her whole escape.
Yeah, no, they're just like, oh,
pointless.
David killed him in the meantime, and then here you go.
It's just very, very disrespectful. I'm like, okay, like,
well, dude,
it felt like afterthought course correction.
Yeah, well, it was. I mean, which Alien we know is very notorious for doing that because Alien 3 has the character Newt and Hicks, and they're just
Right.
like, yeah, you're dead.
Yeah,
And,
why? Why are they dead?
yeah.
And why do they die such unceremonious deaths? You
And
know what I mean? Like, they were
what
good characters.
what makes me laugh about that too is Michael Biehn made as much money for having his face on the thing as he did for making Aliens, and so
Oh, did he really?
yeah, it's one of those things where like he wasn't in the movie at all, but they used his likeness for the picture, and he like got paid the same amount of money basically. Yeah, and you go good for Michael Biehn, but like
Good for
yeah,
Michael Biehn. Yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't have to sit through that fucking thing that's kind of a mess that I
yeah,
love for some reason.
dude. It's one of those things where Alien 3, as I saw it, like as Romulus was coming out, people were like rewatching Alien movies, right? And they were like, I don't get why everyone hates it. Because I was like, I don't know, man, because just because contextually it's better than things like Resurrection doesn't mean that it was good at the time. I mean,
That's fair. Yeah.
it,
When you hold it up against the rest of the franchise, it's definitely not the worst entry in that franchise
No.
by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, if
Especially
you-
with a movie like Requiem being in there,
dude,
You
I
can't-
will.
People that watch that movie still haven't seen it.
Yep.
It's
I
so
I
fucking
go-
dark.
yeah. At the same time, is that thing where it's like, I hate Prometheus, but I'm like, when you have Requiem where you can't see the fucking movie, you just go,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Hollywood, dude. Like you have low budget things like Terrifier. Like the first Terrifier is like mostly shot in dungy abandoned buildings, right? And that movie is you can see everything in it. And it's just like
everything in it.
there's no reason why this fucking movie is lit like it was like like you had Satan's
I wonder
asshole
if they
wrapped
did
around
that
the camera.
because the visual effects weren't
That's
good.
yeah.
Is that
Yep.
why?
I think so. I think they were like they didn't have a huge budget, so like they were trying to do cool things, and they just were like, this isn't gonna be
You
good.
don't
So
have a big budget. You really need to focus on the story.
yeah, I don't know, man. It's funny because like they're talking about it now that Romulus is out, like it has been out for a while. That they have, they're gonna make supposedly gonna make a sequel with the two main characters again, and then they have another Predator movie coming out next year, and.
We talked
Actually-
about Romulus, right? Did we already talk
No, we didn't talk about Romulus because Ken was in Canada. Nowhere.
about right.
You can watch it, but like towards the, like when she goes back to Canada. But no, so it was like they're doing that, and they're doing a Predator like animated like anthology.
Yeah, there's a couple of Predator things coming. out,
Yeah.
right?
So, and they supposedly said something about doing Alien versus Predator. I'm like, that would be cool. They do it like as an R-rated like visible movie that you like kind of like what you're doing with.
I
all
don't
this
hate the first AVP movie. I don't hate it.
No.
It's not good, but it's fun.
Yeah.
If they do an Alien versus Predator, I really just want them to adapt the source material.
Yeah. The comics.
Adapt the first mini series that they did
Yeah.
in the books, because it was a really fucking good story, and that's
Yeah.
why it became as popular as it did.
Yeah. Well, dude, it's the weird thing. It's like when you have the versus movies. It's like recently watched like in Classy Katie's Discord. We've been watching Halloween movies, like horror movies every night, like two of them, and one of them was what the fuck? My brain just, I just completely fucking like my brain went bloop.
You were talking about versus movies.
Yeah. Oh, it was Freddy versus Jason. Yeah.
Okay.
And so like like that last 20 minutes of that movie is great, but man, the human characters in that movie are so bad. It's just like
Yeah.
it's like up there with
Yeah,
the
you're-
worst Friday movies with like how bad the human characters are.
It was they reached and reached and reached for those cliche characters that we latched onto through the franchise. You
Yeah.
had your nerdy character, you had your final girl, of course, you had the love interest, you had all of them were there, even to the point that they just said, hey, we need Jay from Jay and Silent Bob in this movie, so let's just put this guy in here, and we're just gonna write him as Jay.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
And they were all just absolute
Yeah.
rip-offs of
Dude.
other characters that they've had throughout the franchise. And then they took a girl from Ginger Snaps, who I love. Her name, Catherine something or other. Her name escapes me for some reason. And then they just had her get banged on a fucking bed.
Yeah, and then the guy's like, you know, I hate when you smell like menthols and shit like that. It's just like it's just like
wow.
wow.
Yeah,
But it's that they don't like. It's such a hard thing. Like, and I know that the like I haven't seen the second King Kong versus Godzilla movie, which has been another thing that like they've like been doing better with, and I think the PG-13 helps. But like, I don't know, man. We're in a weird world where like I think R-rated movies are doing better. I mean, like look what Deadpool did. Like it's just like
I think was it $1.2 billion or some shit like that?
Yeah, something. And it's just like, see, people will go.
That was bothering me.
Yeah. Look it up. People go see R-rated movies, guys. Every movie doesn't have to be a Marvel. And I saw Terrifier cross over $50 million this weekend, which is cool as shit. So
totally awesome.
Yeah.
My dog is down there losing his fucking mind and he needs to knock it off.
He like, tripod, shut up. But yeah, so we were like, oh, we're gonna watch The Substance because we wanted Ken to watch it, and Ken can't come today again. And The Substance, and we had both seen it, but like, here we are, and I've rewatched The Substance, and you've rewatched The Substance, and here we are to talk about it today. So, this movie is still wild. So yeah, we're gonna talk about The Substance.
This movie is so cool.
Yeah, dude, it is one of those things where like, especially the final act of this movie, you're just like, what the fuck for the last like
it gets off the rails at the end in the best way like in all the best way. It's so it turns into a real fantastic campy fucking trauma
Cronenberg
like it turns into of course the body horror builds gradually through the movie anyway. And I guess they were just like, let's just fucking go full on The Thing with this bitch.
Yeah. Dude,
I'm here for it.
Yeah. Dude, I'm gonna pull up the synopsis and read it here if my phone would like actually.
I actually got it if you
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
And take care of that.
Yeah.
Let me boom boom boom. Oh, my screen. I'm doing all sorts of fun things. Okay. A fading celebrity takes a black market drug, a cell replicating substance that temporarily creates a younger, better version of herself.
I don't know if is temporarily the word for that. Like, I don't think temporarily is a good word in that summary, but
we're gonna. But it's what IMDb had. So.
Yeah. Dude, this is the second movie by Corley Fargate, who did Revenge.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce their name either. I'm glad you took a stab at it.
I probably butchered the shit out of it, and
I really liked Revenge a lot. She's actually done a few movies, but Revenge would probably be the well, she's done some shorts. Revenge is her other full length film, though.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah,
she also directed some episodes of The Sandman, the TV series.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's the thing where like that movie made enough. Like my ex introduced me to that film. Like that movie had gotten enough like momentum when it came out back in whatever 2017 or whatever, and just like it picked up because it's very kind of like a modern retelling of things like The Last House on the Left and I Spit on Your Grave and stuff. It's a rape revenge movie and is batshit crazy. I mean, it got the drug taking sequences.
I watched it on Shudder.
Maybe, I don't know. I haven't had Shudder for a while, but dude, that movie has.
I canceled it. I haven't had it for a while either.
That movie has some sequences like she knows how to do things that are very like. Even I get squeamy with, but like the guy like stepping on the glass in that movie is just like kind of like I feel like at the end of The Substance with the teeth and the fucking the nails, like the shit that's just like it's not easy to watch even when you're like a horror junkie like me. Like the glass thing was like but like man, she's a good director and it's just like it's cool seeing her like. Yeah. I mean, it also seems like she's also sitting there going, I'm not going to, like, you had a 7-year gap between Revenge and this. So, like, she was, like, taking her time and found something she wanted to do, and she fucking killed it, man. Because this movie is fucking wild, and like one of those movies that like it seemed like it premiered like the week before it came out, but like at Fantastic Festival, and people were talking about it, and then I went in and saw it just because I had seen Demi Moore, and I'm like, what is this movie? And I was sitting there like laughing the last half an hour of it because it's so fucking wild. You're like,
Yeah.
it's that like giggle of like it's the what the fuck giggles that you get for the last half an hour of this film. You're just like, yeah, and yeah. I mean, when the titty testicle pops out at the end, or like when I'm just like, dude. Also, I love the bookends of this film. I love how they start this film with her star getting placed on the
star.
Yeah, and then they end it with her like blobby thing crawling onto the star and like going blah, and like just like disappearing and then getting cleaned off and just like whatever. And it is one of these movies that is just like, it's unapologetically like goes after everyone in Hollywood, really.
Oh
right?
yeah, it's fantastic. It's and then there's obviously the story itself is pretty obvious to kind of dissect and take apart, you know.
Yeah.
It's the obsession, the male obsession with
youth,
female beauty,
youth, yeah,
and things like that. But it also leans into the body dysmorphia, you know, that Demi Moore's character starts to go through when she, particularly when she's freaking out, she's getting ready to go to that date, and and it's crazy because I don't know anything about experiencing that, but as a male sitting here, I look at Demi Moore and she's fucking beautiful. Like she's gorgeous.
Yep.
And she has been ever since I've ever seen her. And to this point, to this day, I'm just like, she's fucking gorgeous. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
And her character just doesn't see that in herself anymore. And
it's like her hatred for herself is such a driving factor of like the film, because it's like, I mean, it takes that fact where you go like what 2/3 of the way through, where the chick is like her other Sue is like fucking with her, and she's like, she wakes up and she's like, this bitch is like, you know, eating me basically, and but she doesn't even care, because then it's like her Sue's success is her success, and so like she like. I don't know about you, man. I would never have like gotten like let her back in after that, like that second time where it was how long, and she's like, oh, do you want to stop? And she's like, no, I like, and it's just like that, like, dude, this chick is, and we know it's you and whatever, and a copy of you or whatever, but it's like, you're gonna sit there and like not stop this whole nightmare experience just because like you, I think she took like she in her head thought it was her, and she was getting her like, you know, because they were her, but like they're, I don't know, like that the whole thing of like they're not the same person but they are, and like I don't know, it's a very odd thing to even like reason, because if Brian popped out a younger, sexier Brian out of his back,
oh man,
there would just be dick slinging everywhere.
Just like that'd be unbelievable, because
it would be like it'd be the guy who like gives it to her, who's the young, good-looking dude with the like those bright blue eyes, and then like you find the older version of him like at the fucking the coffee shop or the whatever, the diner, and he's just like, "Has she started taking from you yet?" And he's just like, and like. I don't know about you, like the second time watching this, as like you see things like the card, and you like know who he is at the time, right? And it's like when it feels like it like you get a lot revealed to you the second time because you know what's happening. You know what I mean? So it is a wild fucking movie, though. I mean, it is.
Love it.
Demi Moore kills it. What's her name?
Oh shit, Margaret Qualley's fantastic in this too.
Yeah.
I was wondering because when I was first watching it, I was just like, where the fuck do I know her from? But she played Pussycat in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah. she's done a lot of things, man. It's like you look at not a lot of big things, but like this feels like a movie that's going to like break her out as being like more famous. She was in Death Stranding, I guess.
Yeah, she did a voice for Mama Lock Me. She did a voice work from Death Stranding.
Yeah, I love that movie, but I did that game, and then combat happened in it, and I was like, nope, can't play this.
I have it, and I haven't started it yet.
And it's not, dude. I tried. I was like, this is cool. Nope, not cool. Don't enjoy it. Nope, not that. Like,
fair.
The storytelling and everything is cool. Just the gameplay just was not for me. It's weird because this is another movie though too that I really appreciate because the marketing for it didn't do any like. You could have been focusing on the third act craziness of like the real body horror that pops out. But they didn't do that. They kind of focused on the like first half of the movie, which I appreciate. And like, it's always nice to me that you have a horror movie that doesn't blow its load in the fucking trailers, which is so fucking rare, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's like, I mean, I don't know about you. I go out of my way to avoid trailers, but like when you go to a movie, there's trailers. So like if it ends up being one of the ones that you show up before, you're just like, okay. And the substance was pretty vague, but it was like, okay, that looks like it's going to be a little bit crazy. How little did we know that a little crazy was going to be a slight understatement?
Oh yeah. It like I said, I love the way the body horror builds throughout the movie. It starts out pretty subtle with like her, you know, well, it starts out, I said it started out subtle, but it really didn't. It just did in comparison to what you end up getting.
Yeah.
Because like it literally starts out with a whole ass person getting shit out the back of Demi Moore's body and then her sewing her up and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that in and of itself was all pretty fucking wild and pretty bizarre. But then it just gradually gets worse, you know?
Yeah.
And then the whole mishmash of them all fucking turning into like a genuine like extra from The Thing.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like
it's so fucking rad. And it leans into in the best way near the end there though, because it was such a ride to get to that point that they just leaned into it and said, fuck it, you know, we're just gonna go full in and lean into this ridiculous fucking mess of mush.
Yeah. Well, dude, the guy comes up on stage at that last scene and knocks her head off, and it turns into like a Japanese splatter film, like or like Dead Alive, or like, you know, so like it's like where she's just spraying blood everywhere, and you're just like, holy shit, there's just blood everywhere. You know, it's funny because
Peter Jackson would have been proud for sure.
Yeah. It's funny because they have like those giant set pieces, right, where all the crazy shit happens, but they also do these things where they just like they do uncomfortable things throughout the film that are just like in focus on them, like when the younger
like anytime Dennis Quaid is on the fucking screen,
dude, that's such a thing, man. Dennis Quaid is so disgusting in this film, and it's like he's meant to be like. There's a big thing I think she's saying about these disgusting men that are like judging women, and he's like
oh, he's totally the Harvey Weinstein in this fucking movie. He's a complete piece of shit, man. Like
except he's not jerking off into potted plants, but he's
we don't know that.
Okay, we didn't see it. We didn't see him jerk off into potted plants.
There's some deleted scenes. But yeah, he's such a fucking scumbag in this movie, and I was a Dennis Quaid fan for a long time.
Yeah,
not so much anymore, unfortunately.
Is he a MAGA scumbag?
Yeah, man, he got up on stage and endorsed Trump, and I try to separate the art from the artist, but it's just hard to when somebody supports, that fucking guy. I'm like, I get being a Republican, but it's not the same Republican Party that it was when you and I were growing up.
No. When you're going, I like this guy who wants a wannabe fascist dictator. You go, what is fucking wrong with you, man? Especially like,
I'm sorry, I can totally understand being a conservative though.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing is I can understand being a conservative. I can understand having conservative beliefs. I have some myself. I've voted Republican in the past, but I can't vote for anybody that's associated with this version of the fucking GOP. And like, if we ever got back to the days of just McCain, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because McCain was a Republican, but at least he was a fucking respectable human being.
Yeah.
He was a decent person.
Yeah.
All these fucking freakazoids that, you know. And I'm like, really, Dennis Quaid? This is the one that you're gonna fucking stand on stage and support,
dude. It's weird, and it's a weird spot in Hollywood because when it happens, you like it feels like you get people like Brandon Routh, like his going off and doing whatever he's doing because it feels like with him. It kind of feels like, what do you call him? Did the director of the Joker movies? What's that asshole's name? Yeah, Todd Phillips, who like seems to be like trying to make art because he fell on his face with so much shit and like oh, you can't do this and then just doing art, and then like I almost wonder if the Joker was supposed to like not do, I don't know, because what the Joker
it almost feels like he did that intentionally.
Yeah,
it almost feels like a fuck you to the studio or something.
Yeah,
it almost does. With that being said, I haven't seen the movie either.
Yeah, I haven't either. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, his character in the movie is just like every scene with him, you're just like, this dude is completely disgusting.
Gross.
Yeah,
he's gross in this movie,
and it's just
in the best way because he's supposed to be. You know,
dude,
he's doing a great job.
I mean, it's the cinematography where like when they're at that restaurant and he's eating like shrimp and they're just like going in and he's like eating with his mouth open and there's just like food everywhere and he's just like, or when he's like lighting up cigarettes and just like in the grossest way possible and you're just like, this dude is disgusting as fuck. And it's like the point it seems like she's trying to make like these are the assholes judging women's beauty is these like middle-aged like disgusting white dudes, you know?
Yeah, it's fucking it's pretty gross and it's pretty unsettling.
Yeah.
You know,
dude,
because the reality probably isn't that far from this.
Yeah.
You know.
No. That's why it's like I think that she caught this script or she wrote, I don't know who
she wrote the movie. She wrote the movie as well.
It very much feels like she's seen some shit. She was like, fuck you guys. I mean, because it was revenge making, you know, like these things about rape, you know, and what it is, and now this is about what women are like treated like, and then what that does to their own self-image and what you're willing to do in your own. And it's not even just women, but like it focuses on women, but like it's that thing where like stardom and being in Hollywood and all that shit and what you're doing would do to stay on top and all that stuff. But it focuses on what women do and what they go through. And like, man, it is not like, I mean, it's like everyone is hitting on Sue when she's around and everyone's like, oh, you were my favorite, except for the one guy that wants to go out with Demi Moore. And and she like, dude, you pointed out that where she's like going in there and like putting on makeup and shit, and she's just like blah, and just like rubbing, like throwing makeup off of her face and shit like that. And it's just like, it's that little scenes of just like disturbing and self-hatred. And it's just like, dude, I laughed because I laughed at it the first time. There's also weird things in this movie that make me laugh. I'm like, I don't know exactly what happens. Like the last time Demi Moore comes out of her, like when she looks like one of the three hags from like, I don't know, some
100%.
like, yeah. And when she drags Sue down the hallway and she's just like, bum, 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 like when she's gonna like, you know, get rid of her. And she's like, she can't even do that at the last time because it was that like all of her self-worth had transferred over to like Sue. And she's just like,
It's really good.
Yeah.
Demi Moore is fantastic in this movie.
Yeah.
It's probably, man, it might be her greatest performance.
Yeah, I mean
It's up there.
it's one of those things where people are talking about her and getting an Emmy nominations, and you go, she's never going to get an Emmy nomination for this because this is a weird body horror movie. But
oh, you mean Oscar is what you're
yeah,
saying.
Oscar, yeah, that's what I meant.
Probably not. You're right. I mean, it may be a Golden Globe.
Yeah,
but like you're right. It's these. I mean, if Toni Collette didn't get a nomination for fucking Hereditary, like I don't think anybody in horror is ever going to get a nomination for anything because like the fact that Toni Collette didn't get nominated for best actress for Hereditary is unfucking real.
It's such a fucking sin, man, because that movie is so wild and but like she's so fucking good in it. I mean,
so good in that movie, and Demi Moore is fucking amazing in this. Like,
dude,
like this
when she's like when she's starting to look kind of like a witch and she's like cooking and she's just like laughing like a fucking lunatic, and she's just sitting there, dude. It's a weird thing about this movie is that like you watch it and you go, you can kind of see why both of them are doing what they're doing. Like Demi Moore is like losing it because she doesn't feel like the old guy said to her, like,
think the other is the villain.
Yeah, it's like she's like. The old guy goes to her, you're going to start being lonely, or the loneliness keeps getting worse each time because she starts like hiding and not going out. And like, it starts with her finger. Like it's just a finger. And like, and that turns her into this thing where she's just sitting there eating and just making the apartment a fucking disaster. And then the other chick's like, this bitch is just wasting her time and thinks that it's like okay to steal her time, and it's not, obviously. And dude, I have to say, those scenes where she's like doing those back, like getting the shit out of her, like her spinal fluid out, and it's just like when it starts getting infected, and you're just like, because like I don't know about you, spine injection stuff is just like kind of like. Yeah, I don't like that. It's like
no, see, that doesn't bother me, but any more than anything else in horror movies bothers me.
Yeah,
but,
I don't.
I can definitely understand why it would.
Yeah,
because it's pretty gross.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in this movie that's just like, and it's like the little like I said, the teeth falling out, and or not even the tooth falling out isn't good. It's her pulling the teeth out that I'm just like. And then she's like smiling like Gollum or some shit like that. Or...
yeah, it's that was gross. I'm not a fan of teeth stuff, but yeah, that was pretty gross.
It's just like, and then I hate fingernail stuff. Like, it's not as bad, but have you ever pulled a fingernail off? Because
I've lost a fingernail, absolutely.
Yeah. I was gonna say with your work, I wouldn't be surprised, right? But like,
yeah, I lost my, I think it was my middle finger on this hand. I smashed it in a fucking bin at work, and it sucked. It was the last, like I was only at work for 10 more fucking minutes.
Yeah,
I was doing some shit I didn't even need to be doing. I was just trying to like set up the next shift and be nice, and I smashed my fucking finger. Had to go to medical with like 10-15 minutes left of work. Then I missed the whole next day because of it. It sucked.
Dude.
Yeah, I smashed my fucking finger.
Did I smash my
drain it? Oh, yeah, all that blood built up under there. They had to stab a thing in and drain all that blood. And when they did, it felt like orgasmically good.
Yeah.
I was just like,
just because the pressure was like relieved. Yeah.
Oh, it was nuts. I could on my finger. I could feel my pulse in my finger. I could hear it in my head. It was so fucking throbbing. And then when she stabbed in there and drained all that blood out of there, immediately I was just like, oh my fucking sweet baby Jesus! Like it was the best feeling ever,
dude.
And then they wrapped it up, and I missed the whole next day at work.
I was playing basketball and I like stubbed my toe. My big toe, and it it fell off, and I was just like it kind of it didn't hurt to come off, but it's like the gross image of it, and it was just, and then you're like you have this big toe with no nail on it, and it's just like
good times.
Yeah, it's just
good times, man.
It's not fun, man. And so she just like focuses on these little things that you're just like, this is not easy. What I mean, this is one of those movies that people are like right before, because this came out right before Terrifier, right? I mean, it came out in August, right? And so like, it's like, oh, here you go. Here's this movie where like people are walking out. Like, I think more people probably walked out on this movie than like that maybe Terrifier, because this. Like,
I don't know, maybe.
I don't know. It feels like everyone who said they walked out of Terrifier because children being murdered, and it's just like,
yeah.
I laugh so hard. I laugh so hard because it's like kids get murdered in horror movies all the time.
Dude, Halloween 2018, man. Michael literally snaps a fucking like 10, 12-year-old's neck in the fucking car. And you see that.
And the fucking clown Pennywise eats Georgie's arm and like
whole ass arm.
Yeah. You don't even see. Yeah, even Art the Clown doesn't murder children on screen.
Right.
He murders children off screen, which is preferable, I guess. I don't fucking know.
He's classy about it.
Yeah, he's classy about it. I saw an interview with him about it, like the director, and he's like, the guy was interviewing him was like, yeah, there's even some things you won't show on screen, specifically meaning the child being, murdered or like axed up to death by Art. But man, this like, I don't know about. Did you see this in the theater or did you just see it like at home?
I just watched it. Yeah, at home. Yeah.
Watching people like you just hear the most. It was a hell of a theater experience because it was just like you get these people and you're like, oh, these people had no fucking clue what they were getting. I mean, I don't think most people knew what they were getting themselves into, especially that first weekend of like going, oh, this movie is wild. Oh, this movie is not just wild. This movie is real wild. And like, it's one of those movie experiences you're just like, fuck yeah. Like it was, even when I was just like, I was like laughing like a lunatic because I was just like, this shit is crazy, man.
It was crazy.
It's just cool to see like it's because like if a male director had done this, it would have gotten called misogynistic. I feel like. Do you think?
Yeah, I think that these kinds of movies. I think that these kinds of movies turn out better when directed by a female because they have a better insight into what the kind of misogyny that goes on that they experience, because obviously people like people like us dudes, we don't experience half of the fucking grief that women do in Hollywood because they're so fixated on beauty, and particularly women suffer the most from it. It's a really gross fucking attitude that Hollywood has. It's the dark side. One of the many dark sides of Hollywood. Is their treatment towards women.
I mean, and you think about it. Look at male actors. Like if Steve Buscemi was a woman, he wouldn't have a career.
He wouldn't have a job. And it's just one of those things. You're right. I mean, and let's take an actor from this movie in particular, Dennis Quaid. He has happened to age pretty well because he's still a pretty good-looking dude. But typically, like his light, like if he was a woman at his age, like he would barely be working. I'm trying to pull up his age real quick because I want to tell you exactly how old Dennis Quaid is because he's not young.
Yeah, he's got to be in his 60s at least, right?
At least, at fucking least he is. I mean, he was born in 1954, so he is 70.
Yeah, he turned 70 this year.
70-year-old man. He looks pretty good for 70. He does. He looks good for 70. He's a good looking dude. But if he was a woman at 70, he would be in the fucking retirement home almost. Like, it's just one of those things. Like they don't treat women very fair in Hollywood.
I mean, it's weird because like I think there's that weird exception like where horror does this little thing where they have this like community of like look at Barbara Crampton, man. I mean, Barbara Crampton's got to be right around 70, right? Like she's
pretty close to it.
Yeah, and she's like, she's still making horror movies. Like I don't know, it's funny because like
she's still making horror movies. She's still showing her titties.
Yeah, she does not give a fuck, man.
So disrespectfully. Barbara Crampton. I did not mean for that to sound like such a shitbag thing to say.
No, but you're saying that she's still proud of who she is and like that. Yeah. She's.
Yeah,
I mean,
she was born in. It doesn't say.
I mean,
it doesn't
she's got to be. I mean, she's in her 60s. I mean, because look at what she was doing things in like. She was doing things like, you know, Reanimator and like all the shit she was doing in the mid 80s, right? And like,
right.
So it was like, that means she was at least 20. So you go, she was born at the latest was in the 60s, you know, or earliest in the 60s. So you go, she's been doing things for a long time too, man. And it's that thing where like.
She's 65.
Okay. So yeah.
It's in December, yeah.
Yeah. It's that thing where it's like, horror has that thing where I think they'll like, I don't know, it's weird, man, because it's like you have people like Jamie Lee Curtis, right, and like her and like Sigourney Weaver are both like still doing shit. I mean, I know Jamie Lee Curtis just did has the Freaky Friday 2 movie coming out with her and Lindsay Lohan here,
basically doing it again.
Yeah, but it's like she
also just did Borderlands.
Yeah,
for what it's worth.
I hear that's not very good, but
I've been meaning to watch it because we have access to it now.
Yeah,
and I just can't. I can't build up this mental strength that I know I'm going to need.
Yeah, you're like this gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad.
It's gonna be bad.
But it's that thing. Yeah, it was like it's that exception to the rule, right? It's like the kind of the point they make in this movie is that like when you hit 50, what's he say? You don't have it anymore or something like that.
Yeah,
he kind of like doesn't really complete his thought process because he runs off because he doesn't want to deal with it. And dude, they also had that thing where they introduce his character in that way that is so scummy, and you just go, oh, because she's still doing her workout show, and the women's restroom was out of like out of order, so she goes to the bathroom. Which, by the way, in Classy Katie's Discord last night, we watched The Shining. This bathroom in this movie reminded me of the bathroom in The Shining with like the white and the red, like that bright red kind of thing. That like,
okay,
do you know what I'm saying? So, where she's like in the toilet when he comes in and he starts yelling about how he needs to replace her, and like. They do such good things where like they give her like they send her flowers and they're like, you were so good, or like something like, was it like you were so?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it said, but
and they focus on that were. They focus on that, like it's not like you are so good. It's you were so good, and it's that thing where like it's saying so much about like people being disposable because of their age, and it's just like. I don't know, man. It's so weird. And I just think that this movie, I don't know if it's ever going to get the credit for saying the shit it does, because it's making a lot of really good points, and it's making a lot of good.
Yeah. I don't think that it's fallen on deaf ears by any means, though. I feel like this movie is getting the appreciation that it deserves. I mean, we're talking about. I mean, it's a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes by the critics.
Yeah, but like
they are absolutely loving it, and the audience score is 73. So, which I expected it to be lower than the critics, because this isn't typically a movie made for audiences, because it says something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
most movies that deliver high impact messages typically fall on deaf ears when it comes to the audience, but for the most part, the audience is at least appreciating it.
Dude, I have to look it up, but like you're saying there's something about falling on deaf ears to the audience. How little people there were in the Venom 3 screening yesterday at 1:30 in the afternoon on the opening weekend. I'm just like, I have a bad feeling that the movie is going to tank real hard.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that it came out this fucking weekend.
Yeah, that's there you go, man. It sucks.
At $120 million budget.
Which is actually cheap for a comic book movie, man. That's actually not that much, which is a weird thing to say, but like I just because you talking about movies
okay, well, it's doing well.
Is it?
It globally it's doing well. Globally, it's made $124 million.
Oh, so it got the cost of the movie
175 globally. 175 globally
okay.
This weekend.
So it's getting close to getting its budget back for like marketing too, but
yeah, it'll probably it's looking like about a $65 million opening weekend in the States here, which is pretty low for
but it just made me think of it because movies that say something. That movie says nothing besides that Tom Hardy's a talented actor.
Oh,
but,
right.
But man, it's one of those things, man. It was one of those things that when I started this podcast back in the day that I kind of wanted to focus on, and it was like, and it was easier going in and watching movies from other countries because you get that insight into what is relevant in the like zeitgeist of that country, right? And I feel like this is one of those movies here that like is saying something that it's like a cool message. I mean, not a cool message, but like a powerful message about how women are treated in this entertainment business. And you go, damn, and it does it so well, and it does it so like batshit crazy, man. And like you're just like, fuck, it's that thing where I think I'm the like roundabout. And what I'm trying to say is like, it sucks that like there's a part of the movie going population that don't give movies like this a shot because it's horror.
Of course.
And I don't blame them because I mean there are parts of this movie that aren't easy to watch. I mean the whole final act of this shit is so batshit crazy, but it's like, dude, you know what I kept thinking of that during that movie. I've never seen it, but that movie I forget from the 80s where like the guy and his wife are on a vacation and like their daughter had just got killed and they keep seeing her running around the like in Italy or something like that.
You're talking about Don't Look Now?
Yeah. And
Donald Sutherland?
Yeah, and what kept she looked like the little old lady dressed up, in that yellow coat and shit, like towards the end of the movie, where she's like, she kept putting on more layers and more layers and more layers as she got more haggish. There you go. That's probably the word I was looking
for. Not haggish.
Yeah. I'm not talking about sheep stomach meals, right. No.
That's from 1973, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
not the 80s movie.
Donald's. Okay, man. Donald Sutherland did a lot of horror in the 70s then, right? Because he did Body Snatchers in the.
Yeah, he did some. That's the thing that I loved about Donald Sutherland is he did everything.
Yeah.
He playing everything, and he did everything pretty well.
I mean, back into the 90s and 2000s, he was doing a lot of evil guy / mentor guy in movies because he was getting up there. But God, I love Kiefer. But as we're talking about Lost Boys earlier, man, I wonder though, how much did this? Do you see how much this movie made in the box office? Did it
let's pull it up
because I'm interested in because dude, since I saw this movie, I've been shouting its praises from the rooftops because it's so fucking wild. But I don't know. It doesn't feel like
it made. Worldwide, $38 million. What
was the budget?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I didn't know if you saw it there.
I wasn't on that page.
Yeah, dude, it's weird because the first half of the year, the horror movies have been kind of
$17 million budget.
There you go.
38 million, so doubled its budget.
I kind of feel like they should have done what they did with Longlegs with this movie, where they should have had a phone number where you called like.
Oh, you can listen to the dude try to take your order.
Yeah. Just
there was definitely some marketing things that they could have done with this that probably could have boosted that.
Yeah.
I do wish that this movie would have done better in the box office and would have made more money because I think this is probably one of. as far as movies I've seen this year, I think this is in the top 5 for me.
Oh yeah,
it might be number 2. Honestly, it might be right behind Strange Darling.
This was my number 1 until I saw Strange Darling, I think, and then
so fucking good. God, that movie's amazing.
Yeah, it's so fucking good, man. But like this movie, like before I was like, this movie, it was, man, it's that thing where you do something different. And, you know, as you and me who have watched so many horror movies over the years, you go, this is cool. Like when something's different and like has that effect on you, and like when movies maybe go, like that's like something that you just go, like it leaves a lasting effect on me because doesn't happen all that often, right? And so like,
yeah,
you have a movie that's telling a really good story, really good performances, like cool visuals, like. Dude, and it's practical effects, man. The practical effects in this movie are so fucking good. I want to know, because I assume, and I could be wrong, and I don't know if you have the Demi Moore face that was on the back of the monster thing at the end of the movie was, I think, completely animatronic, right? Like, and then
I would assume so.
Yeah, because
if not, it was very impressive. Like, because of course we already talked. It turns into a fucking Trauma meets meets The Thing meets
it's like a Resident Evil boss or something like that, man.
Yeah, there you go. It's like Nemesis in his mutated form and shit.
Yeah,
or what was from part 7? I can't remember the pop's name.
Yeah, but, dude, it's like all the wild shit, and you just like, and it's again practical effects. Dude, I will shout from the fucking rooftops, and it ends up being cheaper, man. Like,
it does but it also takes more work, and that's the problem.
And more time.
It's more work and more time.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. That's why Hollywood's like, oh well, if we can do it digitally, we're gonna do it digitally. It's like, yeah, it's gonna look like shit because it fucking does.
Yeah.
Practical effects always look better, and they're always going to look better.
Yep,
and,
dude,
they're going to be more impactful.
Dude, I don't know about you. Anytime a movie does gunshots and blood splashes that are CG, I would say 95% of the time I hate it. Yeah, it like occasionally
they usually look like dog shit.
Yeah, and it's just you go, fuck this, man. And it's just like, I don't know, man. I know that there are safety things and stuff like that. I mean, we had the whole Alex Baldwin, mishap in Arizona.
Did you call him Alex?
What did I call Alec? Sorry.
Yeah, Alex Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin.
I should shut up because I am not the person to make fun of for mispronouncing on the names.
Yeah. Dude,
because I fucking suck at pronouncing people's names.
We have to bust each other's balls because we both are like sitting there talking for hours on end and like going trying to say words and going.
Yeah,
maybe
we have these hobbies that require speech.
Yeah,
we can't do
it. Yeah, exactly. We're just like fuck. So yeah, but I don't know, man. It's like the thing where like it's just like you get a movie like this that just does that these practical effects and just like Demi Moore, man. I wonder how many hours she sat through, like especially that last transformation where she's like got like. I think the funniest effect in the whole movie is like that last transformation, and she's got these titties just kind of hanging down to
man, yeah.
and it's just, dude. Also, I don't think we mentioned it. Demi Moore is naked a lot in this movie, and she does look really good,
fucking amazing.
Like, for her age, she's
booty ass naked, and obviously they both look incredible because Margaret Qualley is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah,
yeah, they both booty ass naked, and they both look absolutely incredible. And it's like I said, it's wild that they it's so painfully true how Hollywood treats older women in the industry.
Dude, I just looked it up. Demi Moore is 62, or she turned 62. November 11th. So she's a 62-year-old running around butt ass naked, looking as good as she do, playing a 50-year-old, where she's. Because I was thinking about it, I was like, Demi Moore's like real like prime time or the 80s into the 90s, right? Like, and then
I mean, she was She was only like 16 in St. Elmo's Fire, I believe.
Yeah.
And maybe 17. And that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Here, let's pull it up because I'm that dude.
Yeah, I mean,
yep, 61 years old, looks fucking absolutely gorgeous.
It's a thing where, like, I mean, that's the point where, like, you think about it. We were talking about it. You say when she's 50, so you go back into the mid 2010s, and I don't know, like, if the 2000s and 2010s she's even done all that much, right? Like, it's that thing.
Yeah, she's definitely not worked as much as she did in the
80s and 90s
into the 90s.
Yeah,
because she was Hollywood's it girl in the 90s.
Yep.
When movies like Ghost, Indecent Proposal,
yeah,
G.I. Jane, Striptease.
Striptease.
Dude, that is such a fucking silly movie.
I've never seen it. I just know how bad it is. Like,
it's
like,
fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah.
It's not very good, but it's very funny.
Yeah. I think G.I. Jane and Ghost are like, I think G.I. Jane was probably her most. Did she get an Academy Award for that, or did she just get nominated? I
think she got nominated for
I thought she got it for one for G.I. Jane, but maybe she didn't. I don't know. But man,
no, I don't think she got a nomination for G.I. Jane.
Was that?
I can put my fingers on the right buttons. It'd be neat. I want to say she got nominated for A Few Good Men.
Okay. Dude, I haven't watched that movie in a long time.
Because she was great movie.
With Jack Nicholson. Dude, we've been watching all the Jack Nicholson movies on Katie's Discord. We're like including, I'd never seen the Witches of Eastwick. I'd never seen that with Jack Nicholson playing the devil.
Okay. She didn't get nominated for A Few Good Men. I can't remember.
Okay.
I don't even know if she's ever been nominated for a fucking Academy Award, to be honest with you.
I remember her, like, how much she got a lot of attention for G.I. Jane because of her shaving her head, like being a
she got in great shape for that movie too. That was a Ridley Scott film, and it's honestly not all that great. It's fine, but
didn't she got a lot of credit for that movie because of like what the message about women in combat and shit like that, right? And so
yeah, it was directed by Ridley Scott. It was a David Twohy written movie, which is nice. It's got Viggo Mortensen in it too.
That's baby Viggo, right? Yeah, it had to
be. Yeah, pre anything pre Lord of the Rings is baby Viggo.
Yeah,
but yeah, it got like it opened at number 1, making $11 million.
Damn,
so it didn't really set the world off.
That wasn't a movie. $48 million. That movie was an Oscar bait movie, anyways, right? Like it wasn't like it wasn't like
Jane.
Yeah, it was trying to be an Oscar bait movie. I don't know, like that's why in my head I thought she got nominated for shit because it was like, what year did that movie come out? Like 96, something like that.
G.I. Jane came out in the late 90s. I want to say I was in the military when it came out. And I was. It came out in 97.
Okay, so I was close. I just remember. Yeah, I was like. I was not in the.
It cost $50 million to make, and it didn't make its budget back. It was. They consider it. It would be considered
a flop.
Bomb.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. And no, she didn't get. And there was no awards nominations in any kind of. In fact, Demi won a Razzie for worst actor. Worst actress.
Okay, then I
Viggo Mortensen was nominated for worst fake accent at the Stinkers Bad Movie Awards, but lost to John Voight for Anaconda. Most Wanted.
Dude, his accent. Yeah, his accent in that movie was great. Dude, I was just laughing because we watched The Shining last night in Katie's Discord, and then the other one was Cuckoo, and so we had just done Cuckoo ourselves, right? And Dan Stevens' German accent in that movie is so bad, but I love it so much because it's like charmingly bad. But yeah,
right. Let's take a look at her at Demi Moore's accolades though, because she certainly won some awards. She had to have.
I think is Ghost her most successful movie ever then?
Easily. Ghost is probably her and Patrick Swayze and Whoopi's most successful movie.
I forget. Oh yeah, Whoopi's the psychic in that movie, right? I have not watched Ghost since I was like a teenager. I don't think so, but like,
okay, so she's won an Independent Spirit Award. She's been nominated for a Primetime Emmy, 3 Golden Globes, an Independent Spirit, and a SAG Award. So those are her awards and her nominations. She's never been nominated for an Oscar or anything like that.
Damn.
Which is kind of weird.
Yeah. I saw that
she's a good actor.
Yeah. I saw that they were submitting the substance for, dude, not the Oscars, the Emmys, or the Golden Globes. Like for the weird categories of the Golden Globes, where it's like
comedy or musical.
Yeah, like horrors go. Why is horror like what? Like,
yeah, I like the Golden Globes because I feel like they
those are the critic ones, right? Like not like because the Emmys are
Golden Globes are voted on, I believe, by members of like SAG. I think.
Okay.
I'd have to look that up, and I'm tired of typing.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, when people win Golden Globes, a lot of them always end up saying that this feels
means more
important to me. It means more to me because it's voted by your peers.
Yeah. Well, Oscars are stupid anyways because Oscars do like the Oscars, makeup awards like they're like.
I don't like the Oscars. I used to when I was a kid. It used to be the coolest fucking night in the world for me when I was a kid, because I've always been a fucking movie nerd.
Yeah.
But I stopped giving a shit about the Oscars around the time Shakespeare in Love won Best Picture of the Year.
Yeah.
Because as good a movie as it is, because it is a good movie, I'm fucking sorry, dude. Yeah. Like, there's no fucking way that movie is. Now I've got to type again because I want to know what fucking movie. I can't remember.
Dude, I always point to 1994 and I go, Forrest Gump is a great movie. Don't get me wrong. But it beat Pulp Fiction and Shawshank. Yep. Yeah. It beat those two movies for Best Picture. I'm like,
I'm sorry. I ain't fucking buying it.
Yeah. I like, again, and that's the thing, man. It's like that thing where you like, it's like Leo should have won Best Picture or Best Actor like 8 times before he finally did. And it was like, oh, here's it for The Revenant, right? Or whatever. It was The Revenant, I think he won it for. But like, just like.
It beat Saving Private Ryan for Best Film.
Fuck that, man. Dude, that movie, it's one of those things where no one has watched Shakespeare in Love since that year came out, and then and Saving Private Ryan is like shown in high school and college, and like old military vets are like, oh my god, and like that movie traumatizes people, and that's how good it is, and it's just like,
here's the movies that was nominated that year. Okay, I'm not gonna say Shakespeare in Love because we're already fucking know.
Yeah,
Elizabeth,
another period piece.
Saving Private Ryan, and The Thin Red Line.
Dude, okay, there you go.
Of those movies is a better movie than Shakespeare in Love.
I hate The Thin Red Line, dude. Dude, my dad took me.
The Thin Red Line? Okay, I can understand that.
Dude, my dad took me and my sister to see that when we were kids, and I was like, I went in expecting like Saving Private Ryan or whatever, and it's like 3 hours of like naked tribal dudes and sky shots and shit like that. It's like the most, going back to the previous statement on this podcast, boring as fuck when I was a kid. Maybe it's not. Maybe it just like I saw it as a kid and was just like, was expecting one thing and didn't get that and didn't understand an artsy war piece. But yeah, I was like, fuck that movie. So yeah, all that shit's crazy, man. But like, I don't know. No one can deny how much of an impact on Hollywood Demi Moore has made. She fucking
facts.
Dude.
Yeah.
She killed it in this, and I don't expect her, like you were talking about, if Tony didn't get it for Hereditary, that it's like nobody's
gonna get nominated for anything in horror.
Yeah,
it's got to be something absolutely incredible. And like, as much as I love like the movie Get Out,
yeah,
you know what I mean? I definitely agree that it deserved all the recognition it got for the Academy Awards and everything like that.
Yeah, but that felt like white people going, "Hey, look, this black creator is doing something that is like pointing stuff out." Yeah, it's like Like it's makeup.
Don't get me wrong. I'm glad that it got the attention that it got, but I feel like it was just kind of one of those. Okay, so we're gonna use another movie that was racially driven as an example. Was 12 Years a Slave.
Yep.
That movie, I believe, won an Academy Award for Best Film,
like screenplay or something like that, or I don't know what it won. It won something.
Yeah, it won. Yeah. Let me see. I think it won Best Picture.
Yeah.
And if memory serves me correctly, it did win Best Picture accolades. It earned 3 Academy Awards: Best Picture, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Supporting Actress. Okay, it won all 3 of those awards, and people came out. A lot of the Academy voters. There were several apparently that literally said afterwards that they never even watched the movie but voted for it. That tells you everything you need to know about the Academy Awards, dude.
Yeah.
They literally voted for a movie that they never even watched.
Because it made them look good, because it was like white people.
Yeah, that's the only reason. Yeah. So it's kind of gross. Watching the Academy Awards is pointless. So I hope that the substance wins every fucking Golden Globe it's nominated for.
Yeah, me too, dude.
Unless it's going up against Strange Darling.
Yeah, dude, and
God, Strange Darling is so good.
It's gonna be weird to do my top 5 at the end of the year as we're getting close here, and we're talking about another one that I'm probably going to be in my favorite top 5 next week, and Frankie Frico. No, but like,
you haven't watched it yet? Okay.
Josh said it wasn't as good as Psycho Goreman, but like, yes, but it's hard to be as good as Psycho Goreman, because Psycho Goreman is a perfect movie. So yes, Josh is going to return next week, and we're going to watch Frankie Frico, and I'm very excited for it. More practical effects. So
yeah, fuck yeah.
Dude. I do want Kim to watch this movie at some point and see what she says, because I don't think she's heading back to Canada.
It'd be nice to
soon,
have her thoughts on this movie that we don't have insight into at all.
Yep.
Because we're part of the problem, me and you.
Yep. We have penises. We are part of the problem. Yep. So, okay. So next week, yes, Frankie Frico. Is it Frankie?
Yeah, for sure.
It's something like that. Yes. We're gonna watch that movie next week. So how is we're gonna make you watch going there?
It's going great. Let's see, what did we make him? We made him watch Christmas Horror Story tonight. Oh, no, excuse me, tomorrow. We are recording our next episode, and we're making him watch Christmas Bloody Christmas. And that's good. That's become a yearly watch for me. It's gonna become a yearly watch.
Yeah, it's only been out a couple years, right?
I think it's only been out 2 holiday seasons, maybe even only 1. But I've already watched it like 5 times. So I see the. Don't get me wrong. I know it's not an amazing movie, but it sure is a lot of fucking fun. It truly is. It's a massive Terminator ripoff.
Oh yeah, it's Terminator in a Santa Claus outfit. Yeah,
Terminator in a Santa Claus with you throw in a little Silent Night, Deadly Night Love, and it's definitely a Terminator ripoff. But Daisy, I think it's Daisy or Riley. I can't remember her damn name. Riley is her name.
Yeah,
she's fucking awesome in that movie.
Yeah. The movie's cool, man. It's wild, and it feels very, that movie, if I remember correctly, feels very grindhousey. Because I think we did that on the podcast when it came out. But it's one of those movies that's like cool as shit. Like also that's
talking about some fucking Christmas movies.
We will, dude. We already talked about one Christmas movie. What are you talking about?
What Christmas movie are we talking about?
We already talked about one. Terrifier 3 was a Christmas movie. Terrifier 3 is a Christmas movie.
You're not wrong. Hey, fuck me, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, we talk about It's a Wonderful Life soon? Or did we talk about that one?
We already talked about that one.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Dude, that's another movie that I love because of the outfit. The mask and everything is just...
Oh, yeah. Aesthetically, that killer looks awesome.
It makes no sense, though. Why would a killer ever wear all white? It makes zero sense. Zero sense, but it's better than the hoodie and baby mask trend that's been happening in the last few years after Happy Death Day, where it's just like generic black hoodie,
the Max Headroom mask for Totally Killer. Was it Totally Killer?
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Ken and Josh did that last year when I was like at TwitchCon, and then the other one, the one that's coming out, where it's like the same concept, like with the killer in the exact same costume, where it's Back to the Future meets Scream or whatever. That's like on Shudder. Yeah, there's another one. Like I guess Amazon ripped off these other people and did their
Amazon ripped off Final Girls, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, when you watch the two movies, they definitely have a different feel.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Final Girls, we should talk about that one day.
Dude, I think at some point during Christmas here after Thanksgiving, I don't know how many Thanksgiving horror movies we can. Dude, there aren't that many. Like we over the years of this podcast.
Blood Rage.
Yeah. I don't think we've done that one. Maybe we do that. But we've done Thanksgiving. We've done Thanksgiving 3, which is real bad.
About Thanksgiving. Did
we talked about Thanksgiving last year. No, I think that was before you joined like permanently. But I love that movie, dude. I always talk about that movie because I went and saw that movie in inner city Cleveland. And you know all the stereotypes about people yelling at movie theaters screens. It was like that, and with that movie, it made the experience fucking amazing. It was.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It was like no, you. And they're yelling at characters and shit like that, and because that movie is so like.
That's so good.
It was so awesome. It was such a great experience. So, okay. So you guys do all that. So that should be fun. Watch it. Having him watch.
It'll be fun. Our next episode that drops. That just dropped. If you guys are listening to this, we did make Warren watch the original Halloween. So
what did he think about that? Did he dig the original Halloween? I mean, or you don't have to spoil it, but
Yeah, he didn't hate it. I mean, you know what I mean, he liked it. He liked it a lot.
It's not exactly a movie that, again, it's not bloody. There's only like blood in the opening scene. It's not a bloody movie at all. So it's like
there's not a lot of blood at all. He did make fun of the Shapes aim at the end of the movie when
dude, the arm scene is the most like plot armor thing in that whole movie, and you're just like, he's like, okay, motherfucker, you could do all this shit and kill everyone, but then you just scrape her arm. Well, to be fair, he had been like poked in the eye with a coat hanger and like
not yet, not at that point.
Oh yeah,
that's before he got hurt at all. Like he was in top form.
Maybe the Shatner mask had, like,
he did it intentionally.
Yeah, probably.
I think he was trying to play with his food.
Probably. Makes sense.
Boy, the Shape.
But you can go to murdermoose.com and get gear. You can get all our stuff. Like, I go to our YouTube and sign up there. Brian, as he's getting the Twitter. Dude, we're going to have to make a Blue Sky because Twitter is a fucking sinking shit ship.
I hate it.
Yeah, I do. The only time I go on is when I see notifications and I look at them, and then it's usually your stuff, which you killing it. But I think we're gonna have to make a fucking Blue Sky because fuck that place.
I can do that if you want me to.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Just looking me up all the assets and everything. I think you pretty much got me already and all that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm on Twitter or just Twitch, and you can find me at Roger_Johnson most places, basically. So, okay, guys. Thank you, Brian, for being awesome, and we'll come back next week for Frankie Frico with Josh and Ken, hopefully. So, love you guys, and see you guys later. Bye. Poop.